Hey, welcome. Today, we are going to dive into something that's both fascinating and incredibly useful. We're talking about the hidden patterns of deceit. We're going to unpack a really powerful way to see how people can betray our trust, not with some big, obvious fight, but from behind a carefully crafted mask.
It's a deeply human feeling, right? And it's so painful. That gut punch when you realize the person you confided in, the one you relied on, wasn't who you thought they were at all. It can honestly make you question your own judgment.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The psychologist Carl Jung suggested that these betrayals aren't just random acts of bad behavior. Nope. He believed they're predictable patterns, almost like archetypes, that we can actually learn to recognize. He called them masks. So, let's pull them off, shall we? Okay, let's open up our field guide to human behavior and take a look at these 6 masks one by one. And remember, this is all about learning to spot the patterns before they can really do any damage. All right, our first mask. This one is maybe the most deceptive of all because it wraps itself up in virtue. This is the mask of the saint. So, the thing you have to get about the saint is that their virtue, it's a total performance. They wrap themselves in this cloak of moral purity, not because they're genuinely good, but because it gives them the perfect high ground. Their real goal isn't goodness, it's control. And from way up on that pedestal, they can manipulate and judge everyone else, all while looking completely blameless. And their tactics are really specific. You'll notice they use guilt like a weapon, making you feel like you're just never good enough. They hold everyone else to these impossible standards they themselves almost never meet. And you'll often see them making these very public shows of their own goodness. It's all just part of the performance to keep up that perfect, controlling image. Okay, on to our second mask. This one builds a totally different kind of trap. But believe me, it's just as effective. What's so wild about this next mask is that its power comes from showing you how utterly powerless it is. The victim creates a world where absolutely nothing is ever their fault. See, their hidden goal is to dodge all responsibility. By making their problems your problems, they manipulate you into doing all the heavy lifting for their life, their choices, and their actions. Sound a little familiar? Their key behaviors create this endless loop. They are masters at blaming other people and getting you to feel sorry for them so they can avoid any consequences, and before you know it, you're trapped. You're the permanent rescuer, and you're enabling them to never, ever take ownership of their own life. Now for number 3. This one is, in a lot of ways, the flip side of the victim. With this mask, the help they offer isn't a gift, it's a hook. The savior swoops in, often when you didn't even ask for help, and they solve your problems. But why? Their hidden goal is to gain power. The unspoken price for all their help is your loyalty, and this constant feeling that you now owe them something. And that's the key right there. They thrive on your dependency. All their behaviors serve this one goal. They're always offering advice you didn't ask for. They're constantly overstepping boundaries, but always for your own good, of course. They work to create this feeling that you owe them. Their help is really a debt, and it's designed to control you. Okay, our fourth mask is, it's probably one of the most intimate, and because of that, one of the most painful forms of betrayal there is. This one is subtle, and it's so insidious. The loyal confidant makes you feel completely and totally safe. They become the vault where you keep your deepest fears and your vulnerabilities. But their goal isn't to protect your secrets, it's to collect them. They're acquiring leverage they can use later. And here's the crucial part. Your vulnerability becomes their currency. It's what they trade in. They gather your secrets, pretending to be a good friend, and then they might use that information against you down the road, or they might just subtly share it with others to make themselves look important. It's a profound, awful violation of trust. So we go from that intimate betrayal to a mask that throws emotion out the window entirely. This one is all about cold, hard calculation. The charming pragmatist is that person who betrays you and then explains, with perfect rational calm, why it was the smartest or most logical thing to do. Their hidden goal is simple: to justify their own self-interest. They frame it not as a moral failure, but as some kind of strategic strength. And invalidating your emotions is their core tactic. It's how they get away with it. When you tell them they've hurt you, they'll call you irrational or say that famous line, "It's not personal, it's just business." They make you feel like your feelings are the problem, not their actions. And that is a brutally effective way to dodge all accountability. And finally, our sixth and final mask. This one betrays you not with a bang, but with a whisper. This is what I'd call the betrayal of 1,000 tiny cuts. The overwhelmed idealist is full of big dreams, wonderful intentions. They promise you the world, but they never, ever deliver. Their betrayal is in their chronic unreliability, and it all serves one purpose: to avoid being held accountable for their inaction. What's so tricky about this one is that the betrayal feels, well, deniable, because it seems unintentional. They're always overcommitting and then under-delivering, and they always use busyness as the excuse. But here's the thing. While their intentions might seem good, the consistent pattern of letting you down has an impact that is just as real as any other kind of betrayal. So, there you have it. We've unmasked the 6 archetypes. But when you look at them all together, you start to see something deeper, a pattern. What's the one thing that connects them all? Well, in every single case, the mask is just a strategy. It's a performance designed to hide a true, underlying, and usually selfish goal. And this right here, this is the decoder ring. This slide makes it all crystal clear. The saint's mask hides a need to control. The victim's, a need to evade responsibility. The savior wants to gain power. The moment you stop looking at the mask and start seeing the hidden goal, that's it. You've taken the first and most important step to protecting yourself. Because, identifying these masks isn't about becoming cynical or distrustful of everyone. It's about becoming wise. This knowledge isn't a weapon for you to use. It's a shield to protect yourself. It's about empowering yourself to build healthier, more honest relationships. So how do we actually build that shield? It's pretty simple, really. First, learn to observe people's patterns without absorbing their narrative. In other words, watch what they do, not just the story they tell you. Second, trust your gut. If a relationship consistently leaves you feeling drained or guilty or confused, that's important data. Pay attention to it. And third, set clear, firm boundaries. A boundary is just you deciding what you will and will not accept in your life. And this quote from Jung himself really says it all, doesn't it? By recognizing these unconscious patterns in other people, and maybe even in ourselves, we stop being victims of what feels like fate. We start making conscious choices about who we allow to be close to us. So I'll just leave you with this question. This kind of knowledge, it changes how you see the world. It gives you a new lens. The question is, now what will you do with this clarity? Who in your life deserves a closer look? And more importantly, who deserves the incredible gift of your trust? Thanks for joining me for this one.